For years I sought to avoid the ugly debates that followed, telling myself and others when necessary, Mr. Eliade was my second father, whom I loved and to whom I am indebted in countless ways. Like all fathers, he was not perfect. Having become aware of his failings, I cannot continue to sing his praises without reservations, but it is hardly my job to denounce him in public. Honesty requires that I acknowledge and regret those charges that are true, while rejecting those that are unfounded or exaggerated. Conversely, loyalty does not mean defending the indefensible. Rather than getting embroiled in polemics, my preference is simply to remember all that I found most admirable in him. There was also a specific incident that inclined me toward that position. When Professor Eliade agreed to supervise my dissertation, he expressed some sentiments that he recorded in his journal on other occasions. "When I take on new students," he began, in what was clearly a well-rehearsed speech, "I prepare myself for the day they will betray me. I have come to expect that, since it is a necessary step if they are to become creative in their own right." I found this statement confusing at the time. Decades later, I still do. On the surface, it is high-minded and generous, granting preemptive absolution for a yet-to-be-committed offense, one that he saw as the inevitable climax of a successful initiatory process. At the same time, it was an incredibly manipulative gambit, to which I responded, as was no doubt expected, "Oh no, sir, you have no need to worry. I could never be so ungrateful." And in some sense, it worked. Although my own work has changed much since my student days, advancing values and views markedly different from those of my teacher, I have always taken pains not to write anything that might be construed as betrayal. Several things prompted me to reconsider my position. First was an article I wrote with my daughter, Martha Lincoln, a medical anthropologist, whose fieldwork in Vietnam alerted her to a veritable epidemic of ghosts and haunting. In our paper, we sought to understand this and other hauntological phenomena as a set of beliefs, practices, and experiences that manifest the enduring power of the past in the present, forcefully reminding survivors of their unfulfilled obligations to, ongoing relations with, and ultimate accountability to the dead. Second, an observation Eliade made in one of his early works caught my attention. It suggested that, his later reticence notwithstanding, Eliade understood full well that even the most shameful and painful secrets must be disclosed. In 1935, he wrote, "That which is hidden, simply by being hidden, becomes dangerous to the individual and the collective. A sin is surely serious, but a sin that is unconfessed and is kept hidden becomes terrible, as the magic forces unleashed by the act of concealment in time menace the whole community." Magic or not, the secrets he struggled to preserve had terrible consequences for those who became aware of them, some of whom sacrificed their careers, their scholarly integrity, perhaps even their lives. The most immediate stimulus, however, was a serious mistake I made, one involving those papers that Ioan Culianu had entrusted to a colleague all those years ago, papers that have bearing not only on Eliade's past, but on Culianu's murder. 2. Ioan Petru Culianu was just 41 years old when he was killed, on the afternoon of May 21, 1991. He had gained his position at the University of Chicago's Divinity School just 3 years earlier, and was widely seen as Eliade's successor. The crime was